Hi friends, hope all of you are doing absolutely great. Today's topic on the PEP Talk is superstitions. Well, isn't that a very interesting topic? Let me start then with a story. A few years back, I had gone to watch a film, a Bollywood movie, with a few friends of mine. The hall was dark. There was absolutely pin drop silence everywhere. All the audience were watching with great attention, and so was I. The movie was well into the first 15 minutes or 20 minutes. And guess what? Something unusual happened to me for the first time in my life. Can you guess what happened? Well, I cried. Yes, I cried while watching that movie for the first time in my life. But I thank God that the movie theater was dark and nobody could see me. As that thought came to my mind, a friend next to me, he did not believe in whispering. He shouted, "Hey, why are you crying?" And guess what? Guess what? The attention of the entire audience turned towards me, and everybody found out my secret. And I was spotted crying while watching a comedy movie. Oh my God. Yes, the movie was Oh My God, right? And that scene of superstitious beliefs made me cry. Do you know why? Because I recalled a phase of my life where I had gone through hell because I was the victim of superstitious beliefs. How many of you, friends, how many of you believe in superstitions? Well, I don't. Men like me, especially, do not believe in superstitions. But people around me do. And that's what exactly happened. The first time, the only time, and the last time I had a girlfriend a few years ago. Alas, I lost her because of superstitious beliefs of people, not me. Can you guess why? Here I was going for the first date of my life with this beautiful girl, and she was the first, the only, and the last girlfriend of my life. While we were in front of a mall, a lady, yes, a beautiful lady, with wearing a black gown, looking elegant, beautiful, just crossed by, just passed and crossed the road in front. And guess what happened? My eyes were hooked, and I was still as a stone looking at her. And she waved at me and smiled. And guess what happened? I also started smiling. And that was the last time, the first time, and the only time I went out for a date. And that was the last time and only time and the first time I had a girlfriend. Guess why? Because she left me thinking I am a big flirt. Well, that was not the only incident that I was a victim of superstitious beliefs. My neighbor's son, last year, my neighbor's son, he was a 90% holder all his life. And just before his exam results were to come out last year, I shook his hands. I greeted him. And guess what? That was the first time, the only time, and the last time he failed in an exam. and he shook hands with me. Once again, I fell a victim of superstitious beliefs, as everyone in my neighborhood started believing that if I greet someone, then they would have a bad luck. Then my best friend also started believing it. Here I was in his house drinking a lovely cup of tea one evening, and before I left, I shook his hands, and his phone rang immediately. He picked up the phone. His mother-in-law was on the line, and guess what? She was unwell for the last 7 days. And when he picked up the phone, she delivered the news that now she is fine and she wants to come and stay with them for 2 weeks. But guess what? That day I also felt confident. Before I left, after he hung up the phone, he shook my hands again. And when he went to pick up his mother-in-law, she told him, "I'm not feeling well. I don't want to go with you." But guess what? The word spread that if I greet somebody and shake my hands, that person will have a bad luck. And here was an opportunity, because for the first time I won a quiz contest, any contest in my life for that matter. But here was the first time I did win, and I came first in the quiz contest. So there were 10 candidates, including me, 9 others and me. And everyone was very good at quiz. I thought I was too. So here I was in the competition, and I won that competition. It was a shock of my life and the biggest achievement till now. But guess what? The previous day during rehearsals, I shook hands with all the 9 contestants, and none of them showed up. So I was the only contestant. And then that was not the only case. Once I remember, I'd gone to the airport. Before boarding the flight, I shook hands with an aviation worker. Later I found out that he was the pilot. So I didn't board the flight and I came back home. Guess why? Because the same day while I was traveling to the airport, I shook hands with the taxi driver. And guess what happened? Within 1 kilometer, his taxi engine seized and the car came to a halt. So I had to get down and rush. Somehow I reached the airport. But when I shook the pilot's hand, I remember what happened to the taxi driver. So I thought it's alright if the engine goes straight like this and stops after a kilometer. But what if the engine goes straight like this and stops after 1 kilometer? I don't want that. So I returned back home. And these days, of late, last 6 months, I had been carrying lunch even to restaurants and hotels where food was free for me. Guess why? Because few days back, I shook my hands with a chef in a restaurant, and he got food poisoning and he never turned up to the hotel again. So I don't want to take a risk of not eating, so I carry my own lunch to all the restaurants and hotels whenever I go. And now I'm planning, in fact I have opened up a business, an all new consultancy called Greeting You. And guess what? I'm getting clients. Big MDs of big companies, global MNCs are calling me up, and they want to hire my services. They say that we'll hire you. I say, why? Because if you shake hands with our competitors, we know we will make it big. So my friends, superstitions and superstitious beliefs, well, indeed I was a victim at some point. What about you? Do you believe in superstitious beliefs? And how does it affect our lives? Do write to me, do comment, do mail me or call me and let me know. Thank you once again for watching the video. Your trainer, mentor, Sudeep Nag, Mr. Nag, Brother Nag, wishes you a good day and be safe. Keep smiling.